Okay, today I am going to do a video on building my oven recipe box. The top comes off and there's where your recipes will go. So a little overview at it. These are some pieces I got from Hobby Lobby, and I will, but before the end of the video, I will show you exactly what the packaging looks like. These two things here are hitch fasteners. So these four are hitch fasteners. Then I have a 1/2 inch black circle, and then I have a 7/8 circle scallop punch. I just punched them all, punched these two, and then I put my hitch fastener through it, and then I actually glued these to the top with glossy accents because I liked the effect of them sticking up a little bit, the little 3D effect it gives it. Here's the side view. Here's the front with my apple pie in the oven, or my pie in the oven, I should say. My drawer that actually opens, that's where you will be able to put extra recipe cards. The other side, and then the back. Nothing fancy back there. These feet are little tiny feet, and I got them at Hobby Lobby. Let me grab the package so I can show you. They are actually found in the wood section where you make little boxes and stuff out of their wood. This is the package. It's called Woodpile Fun. They're 4 antique bronze plated feet. But what I do is I took my hitch fasteners and I took my handles on the oven. You see they're silver. And I take them and I spray paint them with a chrome paint. See, they're all silver. And I usually paint them a day or so before I'm going to use them so that they've got a chance to dry real good. And I actually go ahead and put the brads through my handles. When I paint it, attach them to a piece of chipboard. That way when I do it, even the top of the brads are painted the right color. And then I just take this little strip and I hang it up on a hanger, like what you could hang pants on. So I hang it up for a day or two and let it dry. I actually did these yesterday morning, I believe it was. So they'll be ready to go by the time I'm going to put them on. So I still have to do my feet. And I do the feet the same way. I attach them to a piece of chipboard. These have tiny, tiny screws in them. And that's actually how I did it. I went ahead and screwed just through the bottom of the foot. There's little holes right down here. I probably can't get a good enough picture of the feet. Anyway, and I take the screw and I screw it into the chipboard and leave them on there that way, and then I spray paint them. And again, I hang them and let them dry for a day or so. So anyway, these are the small feet. These are, they say 0.98 inches by 0.98 inches. So not quite an inch by inch. They're really cute. So that's those, and those come from Hobby Lobby. And I showed you how I did that. So today we're going to build the recipe box. I've got to build the bottom part, and I do it in sections and groups, and I also use glue. So you're going to want to have your favorite glue handy to do this with. So let's get started. So I have, these are some of my pieces I'm going to use, and I will post the sizes should be posted down below in the description box of the chipboard sizes. So this is my back. It's 6 3/4 by 6 1/2. That's how tall the whole recipe box will end up. It's 6 1/2 inches high. The 6 3/4 is the width. The box bottom is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then we're going to be putting in these little spacer guys. These are 1/2 inch by 6 3/4 and 1/2 inch by 4 5/8. And the reason for that is because we need a place, because the feet go, they have this here. So they go up over the top. Now when I made this first one, I didn't even think about the feet going up and over the top. So I had to actually put myself, if you forget, I had to put myself some spacers in here to put the feet on, and then mount this piece on the bottom of my recipe box, and then it gave it room so that the feet don't interfere with the drawer sliding in and out. But on this one, that I'm making, we're going to put these 1/2 inch strips of chipboard in there. Now the directions say to cut 4 of each size. You're going to cut 4 of these and glue 2 and 2, so you end up with 2 pieces. You're going to cut 4 of these and glue 2 and 2, so you end up with 2 pieces. So these are going to be our spacers that we're going to put in. And then we have the sides to our box, which are 6.5 by 4 3/4, because our box is going to end up 6.5 inches tall before the stovetop goes on it. So you have 2 of those. And then you have a spacer bottom. This one's going to go in after we put the little spacers in. We're creating the dead space in the bottom where the feet are going to attach. And so the spacer bottom, that's where that's going to go. So let's start with this. Okay, so most of you that watch my videos will know that I build with structure strips. These are 1/2 inch cardstock, score tape on them already. 1/2 inch pieces of stuff, construction strips, so that you can actually build this way. And while you can measure and cut that way, I'm kind of lazy in that respect. I like to cut and go. So this is my back, and my bottom is going to go on this way. And my sides, oops, it goes this way. Got to make sure I got the right one going the right way. So this is going to go this way, and then the side is going to go this way, and the other side is going to go over here like this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach these pieces with strips. So you're going to want to take and cut. This strip's going to go across here, and the leftovers you have should fit right across there. This one is too small, so it doesn't work. So let's take and we'll just cut another one this way. And I actually keep all my little pieces that I have left at the end of a project, and I put them in stamping containers like this that you can put stamps in. So these are my longer ones, and these are all the little itty bitty guys, because there's times when you only need something like 1 inch or so. So I actually keep all of those too. So I always have them sitting next to me when I'm working. Sometimes I can just go in there and find one. Okay, so we have here, and then we need 2 pieces to go up here. Oh, look at there. That fits. And this one doesn't fit, so let's get that out of the way. Put it up there and get it out of my way. So I want another one of these. Okay, so we need there and there. There and there. And we're going to need them for the outside too, but first let's get the inside together. So I'm going to take my box bottom, put these off to the side a little bit. I'm going to put this piece here. Always cut a little bit at an angle so that you don't have to worry about them running out too far. So I'm going to put a piece on here this way. Oops, this is too short. Screwed that up. What did I do? Okay, well, let's just put this piece back on here and save it for somewhere else. I obviously grabbed the wrong piece. Nope, that's too short too. Okay, so let's just do this again. We'll just take and cut 2 more pieces. Oh, I know why, because I used it up on the side over there. This one would have fit. No, that one doesn't either, but it fits there. Okay, so let's just do this again. We're going to take this, and we're going to cut it at there. Now it'll fit. Let's make sure this fits this time. Yep, fits good. Okay, so we're going to put one here. Come on. And after I put them on, I always take my bone folder and burnish it down to make it nice and tight. And then we're going to put one on here, on this side. You're going to put 3 on at this point. You're going to put on 2 sides and across one end. Come on, get off of there. Okay. And then one more across this other side over here. Guess I better double check myself. Make sure they all fit. Okay, so we're going to burnish this down. So we have the back and two sides. So next step is to take our back and two sides and attach them. So we're going to take our pieces of chipboard that we have already got. You can turn this over, it'll make it easier to attach it. Peel off your tape. Okay, so peel off your tape and then take your pieces and you're going to snug them right up against there and push it down. Then on the side, you're going to snug it up against there and push it down as well. And then on the other side. Okay, so we have those. We have those all snugged down. And we're going to take and, again, burnish it down with your bone folder. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then we need to take on the back side and put two strips going up the side here where we can connect it, where we can fold it up into a box and connect it. So, turn this way. Okay, there's that one. Turn it this way. Okay, put it that way. Underneath. Oh, there's another piece. Okay. Okay. So that's down, and I'm way too long here. So I'm going to have to take my scissors and cut off part of this. So let's take and peel this back up to the fold. There. And then I need to angle that piece, so we're just going to snip it off this way. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is this is going to go here, this is going to go up here, and this is going to go up here. So we're creating the front of our box. Well, the back of the box, but the box itself. Okay, so now I'm going to pull off my strips of paper. Okay, now when you put these together, you're going to line it up because it's not going to go way in, and you're going to have to kind of help hold it straight. Make sure that you're straight there, tack it down, and then I flip it over this way, go down with my finger, and then take my bone folder and go inside there as well. And then you end up with a side that looks like that. And you should end up straight. I mean, if it's not straight, you're going to have a problem, obviously. So, again, I line these up together. I'm straight up there. I just tacked it here at the top. You can see that you probably can't see. Yeah, you can see through it down there. So I haven't touched that yet. So then once I get it tacked at the top, then I make it go down like that. So there. So we have, that's the outside, this is the inside. So this is where we're going to take these little guys, your 1/2-inch strips, and we're going to glue them inside. That's going to go in there. These are going to get glued in here this way. My other one go. Whoops, don't knock the laptop off. That won't work. Okay, hold on. 1, 2. Oh, there it is. It was back behind there. Okay, so we're going to put that one in the back. This one's going to go on the side. This one's going to go on the side. Then this one is just going to go inside, so we're going to have to cut just a hair off of this to make it fit inside. Nope, actually we're not. We're going to put it on the outside. Okay, so for this kind of stuff, you just grab whatever glue you like, and we're just going to, first we're going to glue the back piece in. Just put yourself, and I mean, feel free, if you want to do score tape, you can do score tape, but, so there. So we're going to glue that piece in, and what we're doing is we're creating an even distance from top to bottom, because we're going to put another shelf in there, which is going to hold, which is going to be where our drawer is actually going to slide on it. And I have a tendency to build things kind of sturdy, so there's a lot of duplicating stuff for me when I start doing stuff. I end up with several layers sometimes, but I feel that each layer helps add stability to it. You could make these same things and only use one layer of chipboard if you prefer. I just myself don't feel that it makes it. I just like it to be good and sturdy so I don't have to worry about it. And then this piece is going to go, it'll go from end to end right inside there. And it'll probably stick out a little bit, but that's okay because the drawer front, we build your drawer, and that front will stick out a little bit. So it'll work out just fine. So it's going to go right across like that. Then we've created this little hole down in here. So on this one, I really like to use Glossy Accents as a glue. It works wonders and it is very strong. So I'm just going to put me a little bit here and a little bit here. And then I'm going to run me a fine line right here on the very edge of this so that this strip will seal down to the bottom of the chipboard. Okay. Put a little bit more there. Okay, so I'm going to put that there and that there, and then I'm just going to set this over the top, kind of hold it down a little bit because Glossy Accents will actually dry fairly quick. Oh, I just moved it on my own now. That was stupid. Okay. One thing about Glossy Accents is if you've moved it, you better just take it off and redo it because it's not going to hold. The glue is not going to stick once it's been touched down. So I just pull it back off and put more glue on it. Okay. So this to go down there, this to go here. Just hold this for a minute because we are going to take black strips, the construction strips, and put it all the way around the bottom, which will also reinforce it as well. There, see, now it's there. Now I don't have to worry about it. Yes, I do. It still came undone. Why are you coming undone? But I can fix that by putting a strip across there. I just didn't really want to do it at this time. Okay. Nope, it's still pushed back out. You little bugger, you're just going to be stubborn. I'm holding this corner together here, hoping that that will make it stick. Okay, we'll see how that goes now. So then what I do, see, I don't, I'm going to fight this, I can see. I'm just going to not worry about that right this second. I'm going to stick a little bit of glue down inside there. But I don't want to have to. And then we had a piece I had written on, and I had called it Spacer Bottom. So this is the spacer down here in the bottom. This piece is actually going to go right on top. The pieces you just put in, this is going to sit right on top of it like this. So there's our little platform that our drawer is going to slide in and out on. And this is where our feet are going to connect. And this thing still doesn't want to stick. So what I do from here, I'm not going to worry about that at this time. So I will take my glossy accents and I will run a bead of it down here. And then when I set this piece in there, this will help hold it in place. And you don't have to worry if it runs down inside because that's dead space in there. You're not going to use, it's not going to see it anyway. Okay. This little jewel. Okay. That thing is still sticking out down there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this upside down and I'm going to stick it down inside there like that. I can see that I'm going to be stuck. Clean off the glossy accents that sticks out there. And then just make sure everything is down firm. Now from here, what we're going to do is you have your drawer casing pieces. Again, these are double thicknesses. So this piece, which is going to go across the back, your 6 3/4 by 1, it's just going to, we're going to glue it down right on the top back there. And then we're going to take these two pieces, and again, we're just going to glue them directly in there, this way and this way. And make sure, you know, before you go gluing them in, make sure that you're not, like I have a little bit of an overhang right there. I don't know if, oops, we just getting the camera. I have a little bit of an overhang going. I hate working with black, but black is really the best thing to build this with. So I have a little tiny bit of an overhang here. So I'm actually going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim that off. So that it doesn't stick out. And see there now it doesn't stick out. And if you cut it too short, and I'll just do it so I can show you. Say you cut it and you end up with it being a little too short, you know, and it really doesn't matter. You don't want big gaps in there. But say you cut it and it's too short. You can always take and pull it out to the edge here, make it flush here, and leave the gap towards the back. Because all you're doing here is you're creating the casing for your drawer to go, your drawer to slide in and out of. And both of mine need to be trimmed off a little bit. So there, so you're just creating that casing in there. And then we're going to put another piece over the top of it, which is somewhere here. Okay, see, this one says my recipe bottom. See, yeah, recipe bottom, because we're starting the recipe box on top. So this piece is going to go right on top like this. So there's the front of your box. Your feet are going to attach here. Your drawer is going to slide in and out here, and this begins your recipe box. Now, this one here, we're going to end up putting this one on top of it like this. So it's going to go this way. So what you can do, I'm kind of getting ahead of my, let's glue these in. Let's get these out of the way. Put my lid back on this since it dries out so fast. Okay, so we're going to take the back of the, and you don't have to put lots of glue on it. I just put enough to make it hold real good. I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, so this goes inside the back. And it's important that you always make sure that you're down flush. Okay, and then we're going to put another one on. Now when I'm doing this kind of stuff, because sometimes I put my stuff in and I need to slide it where it needs to be, I like to use Beacon's 3-in-1, because I find the art glitter glue and the other glues that I have tried, and this is my personal opinion, sometimes when you set them down, you can't slide them into place. So I do like the Beacon's 3-in-1. And in a pinch, when you can't find Beacon's 3-in-1, I buy the fabric tack. Because Beacon's 3-in-1 is like fabric tack. You can literally use it and it is waterproof. I was making some brooches with a friend one time out of fabric, and we sat here and we made a whole bunch, and the next day I went to do a load of jeans, and I thought, and I had been working with jean colored material, and I thought, this is waterproof, and of course, my instant opinion was bullcrap, but that's just me. So I went ahead and I threw one in the washing machine, and so it was made with the Beacon 3-in-1, sat all night. I threw it in the washer, I threw it in the dryer, and I'll be darned if it came out looking just like it did when it went in. I was really impressed. So at that point, it's kind of like, I don't know if Beacon's calling it fabric tax so they can get more money for it or what, but I've had a hard time finding the big bottles of 3-in-1. So with 60% off coupons I had, I got the fabric tax. Came out to about the same price. Okay, so again, I've glued these pieces in here. So now I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put, now this time you really don't want it to run down inside the drawer like I did right there. That's going to run. Keep your wet ones handy. So you don't want it to run down inside your drawer this time. And you could probably do this with regular glue. I have just learned that the Glossy Accents really is a good glue. So then we're going to put this one inside there and make sure it is flush. Kind of hold it to get it together. And then on this, once this sets just a little bit, we are going to put the black strips in there. So there we have created the hole for the drawer, the dead space at the front, which our feet will go up against. And then this is our recipe box, and our recipe box should end up being, this is about 4 3/8 inches tall, which is no big deal because you have the top of the lid to go into too, because I am going to make recipe divider cards for this as well. Okay, so that's in there. Now my dogs are going to bark. I'm going to go shut the door. I'll be right back. Stop. No. Move. Stop. Okay, took care of that problem. What they can't see outside, they can't bark at. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead, and these were 4 3/4 here. Or 6 3/4. So I'm just going to cut me some strips that are 6 3/4. One to go inside there. A tad bit small. Okay, and then the other side was 4 3/4. So let me see in some of my scraps here what I've got. Do I have some? No, 4 1/2. Okay, here's one I can get a 4 3/4 out of. So there's a 4 3/4, and here's a 4 one I can do it with. 4 3/4, and that's crooked, really crooked. Okay, let's straighten you out so I can have a straight measurement there. 4 3/4. Okay, there's 2 of those. So these just go back over into my little pile. And sometimes when I start building things, I can actually just get my scraps out, depending on how big it is, and just work from there. Well, that didn't work out right. What did I do here? Oh, I did 5 3/4. That's why. 4 3/4. I just have a hard time throwing scraps away. And I know I should probably purge them and get rid of some and stuff, but it's kind of like, oh, I have a hard time doing it. Sometimes, one time you may just end up to be an inch or so short and need that little thing, so. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put this black strip down here in the back. And I only take off half my paper at a time, half the tape backing at a time. But this ends up being pretty sturdy for being chipboard. So we're going to cut these off here, pull part off there. We're going to do the same thing here with this. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to kind of attach the front to begin with. Well, I didn't do it, so we will do it. And this little piece, I might have to go get my little hammer and tap that down a little bit. Because it's still sticking up just a little bit, and I don't like it. There, that's down. Catch it before that glossy accent completely dries, and we're good. Okay, so there's that and that. And then get the other side in. Okay. Okay. And now my little strip sticks out just a little ways. Trim that off. Okay, so then we come to the front of the recipe box. And this says, I think it says recipe front box. Yes. So this is going to go on here this way. And it's going to actually go on the outside of this here and on the outside of these here. And it doesn't cover the whole outside. It's going to cover the way these back corners did. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking a piece that's 6 3/4. And I want to take, I'm going to try this. I should have done it a little bit differently, but I'm going to try to attach this . Okay, so, and I'm not going to angle this piece. I want this coverage corner to corner. I'm going to take this one, and I am going to literally run it from edge to edge up against that edge. Fold it in half. There. Okay, so there. So this comes out and it sticks out past. Let me get in there. It sticks out past the edge of the thing. Okay, so I folded it in half and I ran it on this half. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right up against there and straight. And then I'm going to attach this down this way so I can fold it up and it'll work the same way as the back part did. So we're going to go that way. And then on this, I want to put in 2 pieces. And those aren't long enough. I want 2 pieces of 4 3/4. There's 1. There's 2. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put these. I'm going to taper these ends just a tiny bit, not much. I'm going to go ahead and put these on the inside where they're going to end up at so that I can get them stuck down really good. And I have a tendency to end up working out of the camera. And the camera doesn't move, I do. I start working closer and closer to myself. So I apologize for anything, anytime it's like that. Okay, so I've done this. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to run this piece. I'm going to peel the tape off the back side, and I'm going to run this inside from fold to fold and make sure it's pushed up against there. So let's take this off. and then lay this up here, corner to corner, and then I'm going to bring this down, and I'm just going to kind of lightly tack it there, and tack it there. And then I'm going to put my hand under here, and I'm going to try. There. Okay, and then this is going to roll up here. Oh, and it's going to be too tall. Look at that. Well, that's because it should have went down a little bit. So we are, it looks like about 1/4 of an inch too tall. Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to mark it this way with my tape because I can cut that side. And then I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to cut the tape on this side to be the same height as the top of this is. There. And then I'm going to have to freehand it and hope I can cut pretty straight. Let's see. That's going to go there and there. Yeah, this needs to come down just a little bit more. Okay, that's right at the top there. Okay, so what you can do is you could take, let me see if I can get my camera out here to the edge, and you could take this and you could lay it this way if you find yourself in this position. And I know that the top of my tape right here and here is at the top of the box. So set it there, put your ruler on it, and take an X-Acto knife and just cut that section off. Okay, there. Now we should end up with, move my camera back over here, keep it back this way a little bit. We should end up with something that is the right height. Yep. See, let me see. It comes right up there and meets at the corner on both sides. So that's how you fix an ooper like that. And because I made my first one, and this one is actually being assembled differently, I may come across those problems. And if I do, then we'll figure it out. Okay, so then I'm going to put this up here. And again, I'm just tacking it in at the top, making sure I'm straight at the bottom, and there goes my telephone. Let me go see if I can turn off the answering machine. Nope. At 832. Okay, now we'll see if it rings again. Maybe we won't even hear it. Then I'll forget Monday to turn it back on. You watch. Okay, so there it is. That. We're going to come to the other corner and make sure it's the same way, and it's perfect. Okay, so now we know how to fix that Uber. Yep, and I always make sure that these are straight before I go. Okay, so there we have. So our box should be 6 3/4 this way, front and back and middle. And then this should be 4 3/4. And it's just a hair out of square. So, but I can pull this out just a little bit, which is all it needs. Okay, there's 4 3/4. There's 4 3/4 to the inside, from inside to inside. So then what I do, I'm going to do this, and we're going to put this aside, and we're going to work on the top while this dries. I take my glossy accents, and I always run a small bead in this groove here. I run it like that, and then I take my finger and I smear it out so that it's inside there. And then I see I need more because some of the areas didn't get it. And then I let that dry. That really does enforce the edges on these. Okay. There we go. So there's that, and then I'm going to do it on the back too. I want this nice and sturdy. And all these little extra steps, while they might seem like a pain in the butt, they really do make it sturdy. Okay, that. Now, how do I grip this? There it is right there. Okay. We're going to go across the bottom this way, because eventually we end up covering them up, but I find if this stuff dries in here nice and solid, believe me, I've had to take things apart after I've done this, and it makes them really hard to come apart. Real hard. And I'm sorry I'm not holding it out in the camera all the way. Okay, so let's okay, we got to do the back here, but and all, like I said, all of these edges will get covered up. And I keep running off the edge. Glossy mess. It's okay. There. So this, and the two fronts. So they're all done. Got a couple empty spots here. And this stuff really does dry fast. And once you, especially when you do like I just did with my finger, and you kind of thin it out a little bit, it works. It dries. It kind of dries good. So we're going to put this piece away. But see, so far what we've got here, this is our recipe box in here. This is our drawer, is going to go in here. I have not cut my drawer. I always wait until I get done and measure accordingly, because I don't care how much I try to make things be the same. It seems like it doesn't always work that way. So I always measure my drawer after I get my piece built. So this is our oven part so far. This is this part here. And it is a tad bit taller. But, well, actually it's not. It's going to be a little bit shorter, actually. But that's okay, because we have extra room inside the stovetop. Because the feet are going to go, this is going to sit right down about, it is about the right height. It's going to sit right down about there with the feet on it. So we're going to take this and set it off to the side. And then we're going to build the stovetop. So we're building this piece here. This is the piece we're building. I haven't papered the inside yet, because originally I was going to poke holes and screw my hitch fasteners through it and attach them down, and then I was going to paper it. But you know, I kind of sat them up there, and I like the fact that they sat up a little bit. Gives it a little bit of a 3D type effect. So on this one, we're going to build this piece, and I've already made one so I could continue on with the top, because this actually, you build this needs to sit. So, you know, when you build this, it's a good time to stop to take a break, or I let it sit a good couple hours before I would put it on, because this is done with the glossy accents as well on the outside. Now inside there is the strip. So we're going to build this guy. So here's these are my pieces. So I have 4 pieces that are 1 inch by 6 3/4, and 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 1 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these guys. So I need 4 strips that are 6 3/4. So let's take all 4 of these at one time and cut them all at once. So we're going to do this and this. There we go. There's all 4 of our strips. We're going to fold them backward, or fold them, backwards in some ways. And I'm going to put them on. We're going to take this one and we're going to put it on the end, because this is going to end up being the inside. So we put one here. And I just flip this around and put another one on it the other way. And these strips, they're 1 inch wide by however long your paper is. If you've got some 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, you could use that. I've actually even used some scraps that are only, 6 or 7 inches long, left over from building a page or something. I've even used my scraps and scored them and made them. So there's one, and then we're going to do that to one more. So we're going to take this one, and I don't angle these. These are going to be on the inside. They're not going to be seen. As long as they don't protrude out. If they stick out, then trim them off even. So there's one, and then here's one more. So we will take... Okay, so there's another one. Okay, so I have 2 of these, and I have 2 of these that don't have anything on them. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel off this one. And again, we're going to butt it right up against it very snugly. And then I'm going to take the next one that I put something on, and I'm going to butt this one right up against it too. And then take off one more piece, either side, doesn't matter which side. One more side, and then put another piece on it. Okay, so you have all 4 of them hooked together. See that? And then I'm going to take this, the other side that's left, and I'm going to peel off the paper, the backing of the tape. And if it's right, you should be able to fold this one down and this one down and have them come together and be flat like that. So you should end up with a piece that looks like that you can make into a square. That's how simple that piece is to make. Now, the reason this is going to go right over the top there. So what I do with this is I get one of my scraps of, I'll just use one of these. I get 2 scraps of my strips that I've used too. And I just take, I don't fold them yet, because I'm not going to, because they should be 1 inch wide. My strips are 1 inch wide. So I peel off the paper, and I kind of just roughly center this in the center the best I can. It doesn't matter if it's exactly in the center. I fold these edges down this way so that it looks like this. There's my chipboard. The tape has gone on those sides. And then one of them will go on this way because it's 1 inch by 1 inch, so your piece should just fit up there just really well. So there's that one and that one. Okay, so there you have that with the square end. And you're going to take your other one and do exactly the same thing, but make your pieces go the opposite direction. So I'm going to take this. Again, here's my 1 inch by 1 inch piece of chipboard. Eyeball the center. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the center. Fold it down. Now, on this one, my end's wrapped this way. So I'm going to turn it this way on the other side, flip it around, and I'm going to make my ends wrap this way so they wrap opposites of each other. Okay. So there's that one, and there's that one. There. And then what I do with this, because we're going to end up covering, again, we're going to end up covering with white strips or black strips all of the edges too on this. But I still go ahead with my glossy accents because, again, it just makes it firmer to work with. And I go ahead and I do the same thing that I did on the oven. I put it in there. Wipe it off. Then I put it in here. I see there's some right there. I can see my chip is getting goobered up. Okay. Now, I do across the ends as well. So on this one, I'm going to do it on this end here, where there's no tape, and on this end. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it the other way and do the other side here and here. Whoops. Kind of made a mess of that side. There. Oh, that didn't even. There we go. There. So everything is done, and then like I said before, this is where you want to just set this aside and come back to it later. But so we can keep working, I have already made mine. So this will actually be another one, an extra one. Oops, I see my stuff did not stick in there. There. Okay, so I'm just going to actually take this now and just, you know, find any place that you can set it so it doesn't ruin anything if it leaks. I don't know where I'm going to put it either. I'll just put it up on that piece of plastic right there. Okay, so here we are back with one that like I said, I made yesterday to do the video with because I didn't want to have to wait. I wanted to continue. Okay, so we've got this piece, and then we have our top, our stove top. So we're going to do this like we've done everything else. We're going to take our 6 3/4 inch pieces in here, and we're going to put these here. So to start off with, I want 2 pieces that are 6 3/4 to do this with, and then I want 2 pieces that are 4 3/4 to attach the other side with. So there's those 2. These are too small. Put them out there. And on these, I'm going to go ahead and cut 4 of these because we are going to want 4 of each one before it's all said and done. So there's 4 of the 4 3/4. Scraps over there, and let's do 2 more of the 6 3/4 right here. 2 more of those. Okay, so there's that. Alrighty. Oh, and then we're going to need some 1 inches. This is where this little thing is going to come in handy with with these little ones in it, because we're going to need like 8 of them that are. Whoops! I opened this up upside down. Let's just get back in there, all of you. Flip this over. There we go. Lots of little guys in here, and they only need to be 1 inch. So anything over 1 inch is fine because I will trim it down. That's where I use these little guys at. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So see, if I'd have thrown those away, I wouldn't have been able to pull those out. I'd had to cut my bigger ones down. So that's exactly why I keep them. All right. So we're going to take on here. First thing we're going to do, go around. We're going to put all our strips on the inside of the stove top. Gotta watch. So there's 1. Okay, and then there's another 1. Okay, and then I need 2 short ones to go there. And we need one over here. Oops, I want to take off one side, not the other side yet. Okay, so we're going to do them down. Okay, flip it over, peel off the paper on the other side. Okay, take our chipboard. These are the side pieces, so these are going to go down. And again, butt them up against there tight. Snugly, snugly is the word for it. Okay. There, all snug, nice and tight. Smooth these out this way.